Hi guys, welcome back. All right, so let's go ahead and jump on into this. This is going to be a today's topic video. It is going to be for 123, just meaning January the 23rd. So 123. That's kind of a fun number. That's kind of a nice sequential little energy going on there. So we'll see what we get here. It's kind of fun. We have round and round, and we have never ending story. Okay. Well, now that makes me want to like chant, like, when little kids first learn some of their numbers and they can't count very far, but the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Also, I'm thinking right now of dance steps. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I don't know if somebody is going to be practicing dance steps and it's going round and round. Maybe somebody's waltzing, but let's see. Let's see what this is all about. We definitely have a character who's going round and round, at least in their mind. And we can tell because they're sitting here going, oh my God, are you kidding me? Here I go again. Why am I thinking about this again? Or this is somebody who is hearing from someone and they're like, wow, this is still the same. This is still the same, the same storyline. Maybe nothing's changed very much. I don't know. We don't know yet. Let's see. What is it that seems to be never ending, going round and round? 3 of Cups. We meet again, my friend. We sit down again. This could be actually like a morning coffee meeting, and maybe somebody's like, oh my God, this is like yet again, we're sitting down and we're having this conversation. Maybe this is a gossip session, or maybe this is in the office. Everybody's sitting down and it's like another meeting and it's all the same stuff. We've got the Empress here, though. The Empress is full of memories. So I don't know, do they have a tendency to talk about something, tell the same story again and again? We have the higher self. What is this about? This either feels like somebody who is having deja vu. This doesn't actually feel negative. This doesn't feel like, oh my gosh, I'm so annoyed that people keep gossiping. It doesn't feel like, oh my gosh, I wish this person would quit telling me the same story again and again. It almost feels, and even here we have kind of like the same spiral that we saw here with the Nautilus shell. So we have this maybe cosmic sense of deja vu happening, actually. I thought I was going to sit down with this person again. I'm not even surprised. Somebody's having deja vu on 1, 2, 3. Sorry, I gotta keep saying it that way. It delights me like I'm 5. Inspiration of Pentacles. It's supposed to be a different story. I'm supposed to have a new chapter of my book, a new page in my book, but for some reason, I keep writing the same story. But this doesn't feel negative. We have oneness. I definitely am going to say somebody feels like this is so familiar. Is a person meeting somebody on the 23rd and they go, this could be somebody having a date with someone and they're almost like, have I gone out on a date with them before? This is so weird. I'm meeting them for a beverage, but I have the weirdest sensation that we've had this conversation. I've sat across from this person, or I've been here before. Why is that hitting our character so heavily? Especially with that card of oneness. It's like, oh wow, we have a 2 of Swords. It's hitting them really heavily because, let's put it this way, in life, we're going to have, opportunities. We're going to have a lot of times in life where we have to make a decision, and we only have our own tools in our toolkit. Just like I only have my vocabulary, right? So there will be storylines that will have, similar sentences, similar songs will come into my mind, similar ways that I might describe things will come up because I'm limited by my vocabulary. Maybe I could find more creative ways to express myself, but I have only so many words that I'm super familiar with. And so probably there even nuances I may not capture properly because I might lack the vocabulary to describe them. But regardless, Everything is a little bit different. Even though our character maybe has been here before, they've been at a point where they needed to make a choice before. That was slightly different. You notice the doors look the same, everything's patterned the same, but the light from underneath is different. So I think that our character is finding themselves in a very similar situation, but it's not the same. It's a deja vu, but it's not really the identical. It's if they have to make a choice though, or if they don't want to make a choice, because the Two of Swords is usually a blocked energy, but here it's like, which door do I want to unblock? Which door do I want to unlock and open up and walk through? It's starting to look like this deja vu moment is like, I remember one time when I didn't know what to do, so I didn't want to do anything. But nowhere else have we seen blockage. We've seen a lot of free flowing energy, other than we've been like, oh my God, I've done this all before. How come I'm doing it all over again? This could be maybe we've got like a boss who's interviewing something or interviewing someone, and they're like, oh my God, I swear the resume is the same. I feel like I've talked to the same kind of person again and again and again. Maybe this is a good thing. Maybe it's like, wow, they remind me so much of, I feel like I'm talking to my adult kid. That could be super positive. It could be heartwarming, or it could be, a boss is sitting here listening to a potential new employee at an, interview. And they're like, have I literally hired you before? It's like, no, I'm new here. Yes, but you're so much like somebody else. They thought just like you did, and I got along with them just like you and I get along. There could be a really great rapport, but there's also still going to be that choice of, just because I get along with somebody and there's a great rapport, does this mean that it's all systems go? They might still need training. I can't assume that they are somebody that they're not. They're not the previous person that I hired. They're a new hire. I got to treat them like that. But man, this feels, I can even anticipate how they're going to probably, assimilate information. But we can't really, because they are still different. Now, let's say this is about romance. Let's say this is the Empress is going out on a date with somebody. Same thing. Even if somebody feels bizarrely familiar, just bear in mind, the Empress doesn't really know them, doesn't really know what makes them tick. They're not a familiar experience after all. We don't know, we all have similar ways to behave, and maybe our Empress is like, no, I can recognize a personality type, sure, but we don't know the like individualized details that make us tick. We all have our own slightly different preferences, or maybe we have our own slightly different triggers. I don't know, it just kind of feels like somebody is having a deja vu moment, feeling like it feels like romance now, but it feels as if it's the Empress recognizing either a kindred soul, but then there's that caveat that says, even if it feels like I've loved somebody before, they remind me of somebody else, or I simply feel as if I've met them before. I felt this before I was somebody else. This is probably not the first time that our Empress has felt the deja vu vibe. And they are realizing, when this happens to me, I know it's going to be a really important person in my life, or a really important, great employee or something like that. Like it almost feels like our character gets their little spidey senses going in the back of their neck, and they go, oh my gosh, it's going to be important. I can sense it. I can feel it. But I got to remember, I haven't dealt with this exact person. So we have a King of Cups and it's sideways. If this is somebody that our Empress is like, I can already feel, I'm drawn to them, I'm attracted to them, I already know in my bones we are going to be having some kind of a connection. If this is just about romance, like say it has nothing to do with business, let's say this is only about romance. We have a character that feels so profoundly drawn to this person. The only problem, and I don't even know if we should call it a problem, but the only problem is they have felt this way before about somebody totally different. And they don't, it's weird because it's almost like we have a couple layers of deja vu, right? Wow, I feel like I've known you before, but also I feel like the way I have felt before when I thought I knew somebody from before. I got to keep in mind, you are not the same deja vu person this will be a different scenario with you. So basically, we have two sets of deja vu in this story, if that makes sense. And it's really wise for our character to remember every scenario, no matter how, uncannily familiar it may feel, it is not. I still have to look at the individual. Five of Pentacles. Ooh, and I also can't project anything onto them. I don't want to get worried or scared that they're going to hurt me. No. Somebody else might have done that. I might have had a terrible, outcome with someone else that I felt I knew once upon a time. But this is a new person. Yes, I'm having deja vu, but I don't know them and I can't put stuff off on them. We have the Emperor. In fact, if anything, you notice that the Empress has perhaps met their true Emperor. I'm sorry, this is like, I feel like I'm talking about Inception, like, dream within a dream within a dream. But this feels like with these layers, this Empress has actually met their Emperor, okay? But for a moment, what they felt was that whoosh feeling or that weird, murky, like, God, you seem so, I feel so comfortable with you. I feel like I've met you before and almost lost you and missed you. Or is it because I feel so attracted to you and I already can sense that you're going to be attracted to me? Or is it because once upon a time, I had this exact same experience with somebody else? It's a little bit hard for her to tell, but I think thankfully she's going to kind of like pull herself into the present and say, look, I'm going to treat you like you're an emperor, and I'm going to watch and see, do you treat me like I'm an empress? Because if we could do that, then we can rewrite the history of the past, whether we knew each other in a past life. Actually, let's go with that past life deck. Whether I knew you in a past life, maybe multiple lifetimes, which is why we've got two layers of deja vu happening. We have farm, we have karmic relationship, we have wars and battles. Okay. Well, that has a decidedly like 1940s vibe on it. The karmic relationship as well. All of this has 1940s clothing. Actually, we also have the Civil War being presented there. This feels like perhaps maybe that's why we have, soldier kissing his girl, and then we got soldiers again, and we got two different wars represented, and the farm. I'm wondering if the two layers of deja vu are happening because, okay, this might make sense. Even the fact that, I was making a big deal about the date, the 1, 2, 3. Have these two known each other in two past lives? And then in this lifetime, somehow they've encountered each other, some version of each other twice as well. It feels like all the waters are muddy because they have two past lives. They've known each other and maybe been torn apart twice in the past. I don't know if originally, they lived in an area that had a lot of farmland, or one of them stayed rural and the other one had to go off to war. Maybe they had a shortened relationship both times in past lives. Is that why there's a sense of, oh my gosh, I'm so attracted to you, but I keep feeling like I'm going to lose you? And she's like, no, I'm not going to think that way. Why would I assume that I know something about the way this is going to go? Why would I associate sorrow, but also great attraction with you when I'm just now meeting you? All because of the deja vu, because this is the cycle that they've had at least 2 other lifetimes ago. This kind of lifetime cycle of missing out, getting a chance to start growing something and then having their relationships cut short. That was the karmic cycle. That's the round and round thing. But this time is going to be different. This time they don't have to, have that. We have 3 cards here, and 2 of them have, war, the battle, the karmic relationship. And one of them is just the farm. I think this is their time to change the outcome. I think in this lifetime right now, them meeting possibly on a very auspicious day, the 1, 2, 3 day, perhaps this is going to be a character's opportunity to change something. Let me just ask, universe, what are these characters supposed to do? Make love, not war. We got an Ace of Wands. Fall into this passion, pursue this. It also is very timely. Look at this. It's very timely because we're still in the year of the dragon. If there is somebody, let me put it this way, because I could add one more layer to this, and I could say, is it at all possible that these characters have already met, started a relationship, been pulled apart in this lifetime? Maybe not because of wars and battles, although maybe. But they are on the 23rd. These characters feel drawn back together to get a second chance in this lifetime. The chances that they were denied in 2 other lifetimes ago, maybe they're both feeling this bizarre pull, maybe because of the date, maybe because it's significant to them in their past lives. But it's almost like carpe diem, like on the 23rd. If you love somebody, if you're thinking that much about them, if you feel like you've missed out on them in a couple of lifetimes, and then maybe things got messed up in this lifetime too, why not sit down, have that reunion, and just grab a hold of this person and say, I'm not about to let us get torn apart again in this lifetime. And this time it's just because we stopped talking. This is just ridiculous. Somebody didn't want to open up emotionally. Why would we let ourselves have this opportunity? We met each other again in this lifetime. Why would we let this slip on by? It feels like the 23rd is a day that, like, the subconscious or their past lives are shouting in their head, like, go toward the person that you love. Come on, you missed out a couple lifetimes ago, and you're going to botch it this time too. You're at that same crossroads. You could choose to open up the door and talk to them, and you could have each other in this lifetime again if you just go for it. I think that the big message here is for these characters to go for it. If they're having the deja vu, if they know that somebody's important to them, even look at this, we have the Lovers. This could be a time for romantic partners to come back into union on the 23rd like never before. Partners who have a very profound bond, a very symbolic bond, or a very meaningful bond that is hard for them to put into words, just like I've been struggling to describe it. Because I feel like we've got these layers of lifetimes ago, and now it's just time to be in the present. There's nothing preventing these two in this lifetime right now. So if they're having those hints of missing each other because they think about each other as past life, romances, they could actually find their way back to each other right now in this lifetime. Even if things have been botched up already in this lifetime, they can fix it. And it's like the 23rd is a really good day to do that. I think they both feel it. That's how it comes across to me. You know what? That was a lovely one. I so enjoyed that. All right, you guys, take care. Thanks for being here. Thanks for giving it a